Hello everyone, this is Anand from Axway Global Customer Services based in Sydney, Australia. Let me welcome you back. Thanks for watching the part 1 of this video and joining to watch the part 2. Part 2 of this video. Those who have not seen part 1, I would strongly advise to look at part 1 video before watching series 2, because there are some basic concepts which you need to be aware of before watching this video. So in part 1, what we have covered is API management and elasticity, and then we also covered architecture setup and tools. In this section, in this video, or in this part, we'll cover demonstration, we'll do a deep dive, and we'll summarize autoscaling. Okay, so in this part, we're going to demonstrate autoscaling of API gateway. I know you have been waiting for quite some time to see this demonstration. So I hope you will find this demonstration very informative. So what topics we're going to cover as part of the demonstration? So we'll briefly, I would say we will try to cover following 3 topics. The topic number 1 would be the admin node manager setup and fault tolerance. So if you remember, we discussed that we don't want to autoscale admin node manager. What we want is fault tolerance, which means we want to have a fixed size cluster of admin node managers. And if one of the admin node managers crashes or something goes wrong with it, we want the cluster to restore itself. So that will be the first topic in the demonstration. Topic number 2 would be API gateway scaling out. So for that, we will have API gateway cluster of one node, just one API gateway, and then we'll try to send some API traffic and increase the CPU utilization on that one gateway, which should trigger some scaling out activity. And in that way, we're gonna we will try to increase the size automatically from 1 to 3 to demonstrate scale out capability of the platform. Topic number 3 would be API gateway scale in capability. So in that case, we will demonstrate or we'll demonstrate that by reducing the API traffic, which should result in lower CPU utilization on the API gateway nodes, which should result in scale in, which should result in the trigger of a scale in activity and the API gateway cluster shrinking to its original size. And why it is important, because when you don't have much API traffic coming in, there is no point in running so many servers, because it's going to increase the cost. So we will show that we can optimize the cost by scaling in API gateways. And following to scale in, we'll do a recap and we'll demonstrate. We'll do a recap and summarize things we have done in the demonstration. So in this slide, we're going to summarize the demonstration we did in previous few slides. So in the demonstration, we saw scale out, scale in, and self-healing. Scale out was that example where we scaled out API gateway from 1 instance to 3 instance. And basically, scale out is a configuration where your API gateway should be able to reach out to maximum number of allowed servers you have configured, or maximum number of servers you can afford. And scale out should happen based on certain events. Those events can be can be anything. Can be, for example, lots of API traffic, or CPU utilization, or memory consumption, or network IOPS. The demo we saw was based on CPU utilization, and we saw that if the CPU utilization is more than 50% for more than 5 minutes, then as part of scale out policy, our API gateway is added up to maximum of 3. Once it reaches 3, we don't add any more API gateways to it because that's beyond our affordability. Similarly, for scale in, we saw that when when there's not much traffic coming, or when the servers are underutilized, there is no point in having too many servers running. So we should shrink down the cluster to its minimum size. And you saw that how API gateway shrink from 3 servers to 1 server when we stopped all the API traffic on it. And yep, so that was a very good example of cost efficiency. And the third one is self-filling, which we saw in terms of in the demo of admin node manager, when we had a fixed size cluster of 2 and we shut down one admin node manager, and the cluster healed itself by automatically adding one more admin and node manager to the group. So that gives fault tolerance and robustness in the architecture. So we have covered the four basic or say key principles of elasticity, which was around high availability, fault tolerance, adhering to SLAs, and being cost efficient. So thanks for watching the demonstration. In the next slide, we will talk about or we will deep dive into the mechanics behind what you saw in this section, and we look at the and at that how all these things were made possible. Hi, so in this section we will deep dive into the mechanics, the code, the logic behind autoscaling. So we'll start with looking at admin node manager AMI and the scripts used for admin node manager autoscaling, followed by API gateway AMIs and the scripts. We will also look at AWS configuration to name two. One is autoscaling group and the second is launch configuration. So we'll look how to configure them and how they help in autoscaling. So we have reached to the end of this presentation. Thanks for your patience and thanks for watching this two-part video. We started with a basic introduction, and then about what we aim for and what are the features of API gateway which make it friendly to auto scaling. And then we discuss the key aspects of auto scaling and what makes a system auto scale scalable in true sense. And then we understood the architecture. I mean, there are many possible ways of installing and installing API gateway. There are many ways you can design your systems, but we took a very simplistic modular architecture in which we use for demonstration, where we decouple the API gateway components from each other and we install them into their own subnets. Because it is a modular architecture, so we were able to demonstrate that how we can auto scale those individual components independent of each other. Followed by that, we did the demonstration, and we started with the API admin node manager high availability or fault tolerance, where we started with 2 node admin node manager, and then we shut down one node manually, and we saw that how the admin node manager cluster was able to self-heal and to bring back the second node to replace a node we terminated. Followed to that part, we did our API gateway scale out demonstration, where we had a API gateway cluster of size 1, and then we pushed a lot of API traffic to it to increase the CPU utilization, and we saw the CPU utilization rocketing up. As a response to that, the auto scaling kicked in, and it automatically added another node followed by one more node, and the API gateway size increased from 1 to 3 by itself without any human intervention. So that showed how we can scale out API gateway depending upon CPU metrics, but it is not limited to CPU utilization. You can leverage any other CloudWatch monitor which are supported by auto scaling groups in AWS. Uh, Followed to scaling out, we also demonstrated scaling in, where which was to demonstrate those scenarios where you're not getting much traffic, so there is no point in having that many servers running because that's gonna increase your cost. So we showed that how we can scale in by shutting down all the API traffic, and then we saw that API gateway cluster decrease its size from 3 to 1. So that was a very good demonstration, and that shows that API gateway is very friendly to your pockets, and you can smartly enough configure your auto scaling to increase or decrease or to adapt to the API traffic. After doing the scale in demo, we also deep dived into the mechanics of it and how and what features we use to make auto scaling happen. We looked at the AMIs, we looked at the scripts, we looked at the AWS launch configuration and auto scaling groups. So I hope that you found the video very useful, and through this video you will be able to configure your own auto scaling features for your API management platform. You can find all the scripts which I showed you on Axway website. So if you search for Axway GitHub auto scaling, you should be able to find those scripts. They are present and they are free to use. And I wish you best of luck, and thanks for watching this video.